Sometimes it's about more than manifesting. You got to do the work. Welcome to the Keep It Uplifting podcast, where we discuss lifestyle, fitness, and motivation. I am your host, Uplifting, and I have with me today a returning guest, my man Walk. Say what's up to the listeners, man.
What up, what up, what up?
So we were talking off mic, and we were discussing how consistency is compound interest. Or at least that's what I was saying.
I was just going to say, I was like, yo, because that term was yours, but
Right.
I understood it wholly. But I mean, you explained it, you broke it down super well. I was like, yo, like, all right, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you
yeah,
were on here last time, and you know, it was for how you were able to, you know, lose 100 pounds.
yeah,
120.
yeah,
180.
yeah.
Am I lying or?
No, I mean, I got down to those weights.
Okay.
I didn't lose that weight, but 100 pounds, I mean, and going. Yeah.
So through some sort of consistency was how you were able to do that, right?
Right. I think consistency is the reason it happened.
Right.
Like that was it.
But we were talking about how people don't really pay attention to how consistency, or at least I was saying how consistency builds and continues to build on top of what you did, and it becomes a stepping stone for you to elevate yourself in many areas of your life, right? And what we don't think about is how consistency not only impacts us, but it impacts generations after us.
Right.
Like I just had a daughter, and I was talking about consistently seeing her and being in her life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like you could potentially relate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that will change generations.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I think what we were getting at too when we were talking about that was being consistent with like the people in your life,
Right.
the things that you do,
right.
I mean, because the consistency is what's going to bring forth like habits, right? Like people, I was talking to you about like, hey, I might go through like my favorite, like, you know, media, whatever that be, news, Instagram, whatever it is. Say you scrolling past something that you normally see, and you don't see that thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like that, at that point, it has become it's such a consistent thing in your life that you're now looking for that thing again and again and again. And like, I guess the true test, right, is like I said, to that if you find it missing and it affects you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, of course, if you find it missing, and if it's missing and it don't affect you, then
no, it's fun. It's funny that you said that. And true story, I was talking to a friend today, and he is a model.
Yeah.
And he said, man, I don't know how weird this sounds, but I feel like I need to take a picture.
Okay.
And
oh yeah, because he's consistently doing
right.
it.
So,
right.
And I was like, bro, this is what you do, but he hasn't been doing it.
Right.
So to piggyback off of your point, he has been missing something.
Yeah.
So it's
consistency.
Right. So it's at a point to where he's thinking to himself, damn, I haven't been in front of a camera. I haven't been doing something that I consistently do. Right. Or the gym. Right. For people who go to the gym a lot, the reason that they are winning, and that's why they say it's a lifestyle, is because if they don't go to the gym, they don't feel like they're living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I don't. Is there a saying where like consistency breeds habits, or what's that saying about? It's a saying about like something that breeds like a habit, or like, you know how like the general thing was like anything done for 21 days turns into a habit. But, I mean, obviously 21 days consecutively,
consistently
doing something, right? So,
and I believe that's 90 days.
Yeah.
Like 21 days to start, 90 days to make it a habit.
Make it a habit. Yeah.
Right, but
yeah.
what do you have to be doing for those 90 days? Being consistent
with whatever it is.
And what we also talked about was you have to face what is maybe making you not be consistent.
Right.
Right?
That's facts. Yeah.
You know, like if you have a loss in your family, or you lost your job, or they're working you overtime, or anything that may get in the way of you being consistent and whatever your focus is, you have to face that.
Yeah.
A lot of people blame some of their faults and pitfalls on outward things instead of looking inward, right?
Right.
So it's like, maybe it's not you, but what is messing with your mental? You know what I'm saying?
That's taking you out of that phase or that zone to be 100% consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I got an even better story too. Well, not even better, but like to add on to that part, like the way our minds work as far as being consistent and staying consistent, right? Like, I remember you and I when we did the Nike running app. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And first of all, I don't know what camera is going. Whoever works at Nike, whoever changed the app. I hope your Christmas is not as good as it should be. I'm not even going to say like nothing really foul, but I hope your Christmas just isn't as great as you want it to be. But anyway, before they changed the app, if you remember, it was a training program to run a 5K, and to run the 5K, it was like, hey, we're going to put you on an 8-week, an 8-week course, and it's like, hey, during this 8 weeks, we're going to send you notifications, and we're going to send you things to make sure that you are on track.
Right.
So like when at the end of your day, or at the end of, let's just say that you had to run a mile that day, the Nike app would send you notifications like, hey, don't forget to run that mile.
Right.
Hey, I noticed that it's 5 p.m. You didn't run that mile yet. You know what I'm saying? So here's another reminder to say, hey, do that mile.
Right.
And so like after you ran that mile, after you click go and you ran that mile, it then had a progress bar that would go all the way through, and then it would say, hey, complete.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So after you say that you did that all week, now you are looking at a week's worth of runs that you did that all say complete. And so now the app is saying, hey, you were consistent this week in doing this, and here are the times that you usually run.
Right.
Here is the other, here's all the other things that go with this, metrics. It goes with the metrics of, hey, you ran this far, you ran this long, you ran at this time of the day.
Right.
So like you were being consistent with how you're running, the speed at which you're running, and all that. So, but like, well, I guess what I'm getting at is that they value the consistency, and they reward consistency with these things of like awards and even the little progress bar.
Right.
It's like, but you don't need it, but yeah.
But let's get a little deeper into consistency, right?
Yeah.
When you consistently are around people who aren't achieving things or who are being inconsistent,
right,
I feel like that can affect your level of reward that you're getting out of what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we don't really talk. We talk about consistency as it relates to us, but when you're consistently on the phone with someone who's not benefiting you or adding value for 2 hours a day, that they're taking away from what you could, your potential, what more you could be doing, right? Like sometimes people will say they don't feel like you may feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
It's because you could be doing more. You're not being consistent enough in your actions, or consistent enough with your time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And when we were talking about consistency, I was saying that I don't want to be around fathers that are inconsistent, because I personally know what that was about, and I'm changing that. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be around that type of energy. But when business owners say change your circle, you change your circle to people who are like-minded, because they are in the same type of focus that you're in, right? Like they're
Right.
consistent about their actions in business.
The same lane. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like if you are being aware of who you're around
Yeah.
consistently,
Right.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What circles
Correct.
you're in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
That's just a
That takes the not the know how, but like the guesswork out of trying to figure out what the focus is. You know what the focus is because you're around these people.
right.
You should like if I'm around a bunch of coders, guess what? I'm going to learn how to code.
Right.
Just or if I'm around a bunch of people speaking French, I'm
Right.
gonna learn French. You know, like the whole immersion thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you want to
Facts.
you know, you could apply that to everything that you do. Like, I mean, that you want to do too.
Right.
Like, you could be like, hey, like I want to build cars, and so like, guess what? You're gonna immerse yourself in that, and you're gonna be consistent, hopefully, with like what you do. Like, you're gonna hang out at the body shop
Right.
every day for a month, or every day for a year, every day
Right.
for however long it takes you to get that thing. But I mean, it's that thing won't happen without the consistency. Like, and it's just like you said earlier with like you pay the attention is like the currency,
Right.
right? Attention and consistency. Like you have to pay attention to be consistent. I
Right.
feel like.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a cost to consistency. It's like attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional
Yeah.
about what you put your attention to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that is what doing things consecutively, being consistent is about.
Right.
And what I was saying is I don't even want to be I know I'm reiterating this, but I don't want to be around
Yeah.
people who aren't trying to be more focused,
Right.
be more consistent.
Right.
Because I feel as if having that around me
Yeah.
will take away from what I'm trying to build.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. And whether that's directly or indirectly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some people don't even know that they are
Yeah.
hurting your inconsistency.
Yeah.
They're hurting your level of consistency,
Yeah.
level of growth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
being around those certain people may stifle your growth.
Yeah.
And that's not something,
notice.
so it's,
You're trying to kind of like, what do you say? Like, you're trying to catch it before it happens, like premeditate.
Yeah,
like,
man.
What the possible outcomes of this? Like, I mean, I feel like that comes with wisdom for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, at getting older and figuring out like, oh, if I do this, then this will happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're getting better at realizing like if we set ourselves up in this situation, generally what the outcome could be.
Just being proactive, right?
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah.
talking about consistency, but really I'm talking about taking control of your life.
Right, right.
And people often I've been around, I've met 2021 reflection
Yeah.
is telling me that a lot of the things that I'm hearing from my peers and some of the people that I connect myself with, they're blaming their problems outward. They're blaming their problems on external circumstances.
Yeah.
That really have nothing to do with it.
Right.
Right? Because life is a roller coaster.
Right.
Things are going to happen.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No.
You're always going to run into these obstacles, into these roadblocks, but how are you going to pivot? How are you
Right.
going to get over it? How are you going to get past it?
Right.
And if you don't have any plan of action, if you don't have any behaviors and habits in place,
Right.
you're going to fail.
Right. And I mean, and to that roller coaster thing, yeah, life is a roller coaster, but it's a consistent roller coaster. Most roller coasters
Right.
are going to be consistent with what they, how they do. Like if a roller coaster goes, like take for instance like a old wooden one. It pretty much goes up and down,
Yeah.
up and down,
Right,
up and down.
right.
They don't really go into
No big
that,
circles and all of that, yeah.
But it's consistent with what it does,
Right.
And so like even let's take one that does go upside down or
Right.
whatever. Like it's consistent with the thrill that it gives you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like it's consistent with what it provides, and I mean,
There's just peaks and
Yeah.
valleys, man.
yeah,
And
for sure.
you're always gonna have highs, you're gonna have lows. But what you do at the times that you're high
Yeah.
is going to dictate what you do at the times that you're low.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Because how do you go? You're going to go up. You come
Right.
back down. How do you
Right.
get back up again?
Right.
Right?
Not being consistent.
Exactly.
Yeah, being consistent with your thoughts, I think, is more important because your thoughts are, of course, what you are. You know, like
Exactly.
you become your thoughts. So if you're consistently thinking
Right.
like, "Hey, I won't be here for long,"
Yeah,
then you won't
exactly,
be there for long. You know,
exactly,
like-
bro. There are certain people who are
Yeah.
always got something going on.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know some of them people, right?
Yeah, dog. And so when we take for instance, like what we were talking about earlier, when I was like, man, like I don't think I've never sat and said like, hey, I'm not. Well, I guess what I would say is I never thought that I was doing too much. I've always been like, hey, I'm not doing enough.
Exactly.
Even at the times where looking back at it
Right.
retroactively, I'm like, hey,
I was probably doing too
I was
much.
probably doing too much. But in that time, I was like, hey, I'm not doing enough. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
I'm not doing enough. And for instance, like with the, the whole selling, reselling thing, like, earlier this year with the PlayStation thing was real hot. Like, it was lucrative to get into that.
Exactly.
So, hey,
Exactly.
I bought a PlayStation because I wanted one. But then when I see what they're going for, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the opportunity to make a little bit more money.
Right.
After I made money off the first one, I got another one.
Right.
And I got another one, and another one. And it's like, as soon as I started being consistent with how I was putting them up,
Right.
like a lot of that revenue, once the revenue came in,
Yeah.
it was like, all right, well, I'm consistently doing this, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Exactly.
Like I wanted to be consistent with how I was getting them, how
Right.
I was letting them go.
Right.
I wanted all that to be consistent because,
But you could have stopped at a certain amount, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you were like, whoa, well, I got this. So that's the
Right.
compound interest part of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you put in a certain amount of money into an account that
Yeah.
has an interest rate,
Yeah.
that money number changes every time you put money into it.
Right.
By the dollar amount and by the interest amount. So then the dollar amount changes and that compounds. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I just feel like people aren't aware of this, and that's why we wanted to talk about this topic on the podcast is because all you have to do is have 5 years of consistency
Right.
to look like you've been winning for 10.
Right.
Right? And then you got 10 years of consistency to look like you've been winning for 20 years.
Right.
Right? Jay-Z was doing Life and Times of S. Carter. It seems like
Right.
not too long ago, right? Before we started this podcast, I was playing Wiz Khalifa's first album.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he'd been
Which is crazy.
right? So
Yeah.
all of these things, man, and even with basketball, bro, LeBron has been consistent in his statements about how he plays the game.
Yeah.
And he a 4-time NBA champion.
Yeah. I mean, he's still here, first of all. Like,
19 years.
You don't make it that far.
I've been
without
playing.
being
I played a game
consistent.
like
Yeah.
this. He's been playing the game longer than anybody I know, other than what, Vince Carter.
Right.
And how many championships Vince Carter got?
It's a shame.
Exactly, right?
It's a shame.
So, but he's like, I know how to play the game the right way.
Right.
So I
right,
always
right,
play
right.
the game the right way.
Right. There's value in consistency for sure, and that's the topic of this whole thing. Consistent, like being the GOAT at something that the view we just watching.
Right.
The GOAT, like I don't know, man. If you're going to be the GOAT at something, not only is that what you're made to do, but you're also consistent
Exactly.
with something that you do.
Exactly.
Like something that you do that allows you to maintain that status. I think that's the thing too, is maintaining something. Like that's the way that you're going to either excel or you could stay the same. But even staying the same requires consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like that requires
Right.
so
Right.
I mean, I guess for anybody even listening or even anything to take away is just like the value of even the people who feel like they're not doing anything, you're consistently not doing something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
like
Right.
that right there is an eye opener or a key to say like, hey, you know, what am I consistently doing? You may think nothing, but you're consistently doing something.
Right.
That's
Right. Right.
keeping you from doing something else. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
like change whatever that consistency is up, and then boom, there you go. Like be consistent at something else,
Right.
and then you know achieve that goal that you're looking for.
Well said. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Keep it uplifting.